From Portland International Raceway, I'm standing with Nicole Fry from Fans and Focus Media, Joe Samaniego, Grid Network. Nicole, it looks like a storm's coming, but the storm on the track, Antonio Felix da Costa is the one that came out on the better end. Got a win, but what a moment. 2 laps to go, coming to the final chicane. Nick Cassidy had the lead. Second place, Mitch Evans. 5-second penalty. Cassidy just missed that first apex, got wide, hit the curb. Next thing you know, he's spinning in the dirt. Big blunder, a lot of folks are saying, on the Jaguar team. Why wasn't Mitch Evans doing more to just allow some distance between Cassidy and the field? Overall, do you think this is one of those big blunders by Jaguar?
I don't know. It also just seems kind of like your standard race incident. These things happen. It's part of racing. It's what makes it exciting, not only for the teams, but also for the fans. Overall, I think it was definitely a misstep. It was definitely not something that they're going to be happy with walking away from today's race, but it could also motivate them for tomorrow.
Now, it's interesting because looking at the video, it looks like the back end of Cassidy's car got a little loose, missed the apex. We heard some folks saying, well, Jaguar, they could have been giving team orders to Mitch Evans to, hey, hold your pace. Cassidy wondering, could Mitch Evans make a move on him? We know team orders in motorsport is not exactly the most uncontroversial topic. Do you think this is something where Jaguar should have said, team orders, batch up the field, Mitch, let Cassidy get this?
I think hindsight 2020, that probably would have been a very smart idea. I don't know if that was their goal or it was even something that was kind of on their radar. I think everyone kind of assumed they kind of had it in the bag. This was so unexpected on all fronts.
Antonio Felix da Costa, the winner, last year got a podium here. I think a lot of folks thought he might get the win, but now 4 races, 3 wins. Of course, that disqualification, that could have been another win. He's on fire. He seems like he has some momentum on his side.
He's definitely fired up. I think everyone has their eye on the end of the season and what that means for them, their contracts, and their future within this sport. And I think this track is a favorite for the drivers. It is so fast-paced that this really just brings out the best in them.
And of course, you got a chance to talk to Antonio Felix da Costa. Here's what he had to say in the media bullpen.
Good afternoon. Exciting race. All came together in the last couple laps. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm feeling good. Obviously, we had a very good day, quick over a lap, and obviously we've been good in the races as well. And today, executed a good race. We were there at the end to try and finish on the podium, and then they got a little bit lucky in the last couple of laps with both Jaguars making mistakes. So yeah, super happy with that, and I'll take it.
Of course. So as we know, Portland is unpredictable. It is high speed, it is fast paced, and anything can happen in a moment's notice. How are you feeling about tomorrow's race? Are you feeling like you're going to get lucky again, or are we just going to have to wait and see?
Just want to have a clean day again, and then make sure that if we do a clean race. We need the car to be quick, which like it was today, but we know we have to work a little bit tonight before we go back to the hotel to try and understand well what the track's going to do tomorrow. And arrive here in the morning ready to go and try and fight for another win.
Wonderful. Any change to your strategy? Tomorrow's race is a lap shorter. Are you going to switch it up? And the weather could also be a little bit unpredictable.
I know. We'll see when we wake up what the weather's doing, and the race being a little bit shorter, it's same but different. So we'll just adjust a little bit to our strategy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
The rest of the podium, Robert Frins in Envision and John-Eric Verne, DS Penske. You luck at this top 5. All of them have a lot of experience in Formula E. Veterans of the series, Eduardo Martora up there towards the pack. We keep talking about this race being something unpredictable, but it seemed the veterans still have a little bit of an upper hand. Do you think this is something where they're just know a little bit extra, despite this being a very different race compared to last year?
I think so. I think having all the skills in your tool belt definitely helps at this race and at this track, especially with it being a doubleheader weekend. This isn't simply a one and done. They have to think about tomorrow. And if they are unable to mentally kind of maybe walk away from a bad race day or even kind of get off the high of a good race day and refocus and recenter themselves for tomorrow, then it is really the veterans that shine through in that skill.
One driver that looked like was going to have a good race, but it did not go his way, Jake Hughes. Next thing you know, he gets attack mode. Mitch Evans made a move. Contact, that popped his tire. He was done. Mitch Evans, a 5-second penalty. Some people are saying too harsh. Here's what Jake Hughes had to say about that penalty. Jake Hughes, overall, I know it's not exactly the way the race went. How was it from your perspective?
Yeah, I mean, of course, when you effectively DNF after 5 laps, it's not great, especially when if it's from another car hitting the rear of your car. I think the race was going absolutely according to plan for what it could have been for only 5 laps. You know, I'd just taken my second attack mode, was running second or third, I can't remember. And there was still 2 or 3, the immediate 2 or 3 cars around me still had to take one attack mode. So pretty much I would have, when the attack mode cycle finished, I would have been around P2. So strong pace to execute for the rest of the race. Obviously I didn't get afforded that chance to show what we could do. The incident itself, I didn't feel. I actually had no idea what caused it until after the race, and I've seen the replay since, and I think it's quite clear.
You saw the replay. Is this a move where you felt like, okay, if it was 3 laps ago, it may have been a little bit more, okay, that's hard racing compared to it was just too early in your opinion?
No, honestly, I don't think it's not like someone, crashing into the side of you side on in the middle of a corner like happens quite often. I wouldn't say Mitch does something silly or stupid. I think it's just a bit of it's almost a racing incident, but I think it's more on his side, the blame. I can understand his frustration with his penalty, but at the end of the day, for me, I care about my race, and my race was ruined with it.
And last question, I know in the United States, there's especially stock cars, drivers will sometimes talk to each other like, hey, sorry for getting into contact. Is that something, a little bit of the culture here in Formula E, where after the race weekend or after the race, a driver will go and say, hey, sorry about that, and try to mend fences? Or is it one of those deals where you ruined my race, is just sort of don't bother?
No, it's more the former. I think we're all quite mature, level-headed guys, most of us. There's maybe 1 or 2 that could question that. But no, I think we know what these races need in terms of the driving to win, and that it means being very aggressive and sometimes causing some issues. So quite often after the race, you see a lot of guys almost feeling guilty for what they did, but they felt like they needed to do it to get a good result. And this is what we're playing with or trying to flirt with on the balance of those 2 things. So yeah, whenever something happens, everyone really apologizes quickly, but we're all interested in getting the best result for ourselves, so sometimes it can happen.
Thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
So here in Jake Hughes' side, we've seen the video, we've heard Mitch Evans. Where do you see this? Was this just simply too much, too early from Mitch Evans' part?
I think he was definitely pushing a little too hard, too fast. Again, it's just one of those tracks where race incidents happen quite a bit. It's not surprising that something like this happened at Portland, and I think hopefully they'll be able to kind of refocus and just keep that in the back of their minds for tomorrow.
One of the things that caught me by the surprise, I don't know if it caught you by surprise, well, we always talk about the Shelton chicane, it could be a trouble spot. Well, okay, everyone maneuvered it, okay, but it was this final chicane, it seemed like compared to last year, a lot more vehicles going wide during practice. I counted at least 6. The race, Nick Cassidy, that's going to be replayed over and over leading up to London. Did that surprise you as well, or was this something where you just feel like the race sort of went the way you anticipated?
It was completely different from anything I think I was expecting. It was so strange to see so many drivers go off at the place where it's not really known for that happening here at the track. I think it's definitely something all the teams are going to keep an eye on tonight to see if there's a reason why this is happening with these cars, to see if it's maybe the data they were using previously with a potentially modified track layout. Time will tell. Hopefully tomorrow the teams will be better prepared to handle it.
And we talked to several drivers. Here's what they all had to say after the race.
Hello, how are you doing today? How are you feeling after today's race?
I think for sure it's a different series, different world Formula E, but I'm quite happy. It was a positive day. Also, I was super excited the whole day to be here. But in general, I think Formula E is it's a tough championship.
Are you finding the transition is difficult in like certain ways, or is it just a completely new ballgame?
Nah, I think everything is quite different and unique about the championship. Obviously, I think I managed to be quite quick today morning and also in qualifying. But the race is a whole different game. I think you just need to be really, really smart and use your energy wisely. And I was just a little bit lost on how to be efficient today, but hopefully I can learn from that and improve tomorrow.
So any strategy changes for tomorrow? We're going to be a lap shorter potentially. The weather is going to be much different. Are you kind of using today as a learning day and hoping tomorrow is going to be better, or do you know you're going to have to work on some things tonight?
No, for sure I have to work on some things, especially how to use my energy wisely. I think I was quite good in terms of percentage, but then I saw, like, of course, the experienced guys, they were next to me with like Jev, and we were quite similar in energy, quite similar in track position, but then he was just managing to climb up, and I was looking like, how is he doing that? And he's just trying to understand a little bit better and move on from that. But for sure, hopefully tomorrow we can qualify even better and be at the front. I think will be much cleaner for everyone.
Perfect. And so as far as the track is concerned, do you have a favorite portion of the track just yet, or are you just still learning it all?
Obviously, I think the last chicane is quite high speed, it's really nice, and it's one of my favorite parts.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
What a day. Let's start off with qualifying. A lot of folks were surprised to see you up to the front. Is this just something where in qualifying you feel like the car just has a little something where in the pack racing, is that the challenge?
No, I mean, I think there's been a couple of places this year where we could have qualified well. I haven't quite nailed it. But today the car was very good on one lap. That's our only strength really. Like in the races we're so inefficient. I tried to stay sort of where I qualified for the first few laps, but for me to do that I have to use so much more energy than others, and then you just obviously end up dropping backwards. So yeah, I think we were a bit over optimistic with the strategy today. So yeah, just try and qualify well tomorrow and maybe go for a bit more of a riskier strategy. If it doesn't work, that's fine, but something might work. So yeah, I think we just have to take a bit more risk, and that's our only hope.
At this point of the season, with 3 races remaining, is this where you're all looking at taking more risk now compared to earlier in the season, where if you had a good qualifying effort, you tried to play a little bit more conservative?
It depends on the track. The track has a big bearing. I mean, here, there's such a big peloton effect, and there's sort of more variables that could reward a riskier strategy. So it would make sense to try something a bit more out there for tomorrow. But somewhere like London, where the tow effect's not very big, qualifying's more important because you can't overtake. You take less risk at a race like that. So yeah, I think tomorrow we need to be realistic about where our race pace is and our efficiency is, and try something a bit more out the box. Otherwise we may as well not even bother racing. So we just have no efficiency. It's so tough. So yeah,
thank you so much for your time. Best of luck to you.
No problem. Thank you.
Hello Norman, how are you doing today after today's race?
Well, I was feeling a bit better this morning after the qualifying. Tough race, honestly. Like today we had no efficiency. We tried to send it at the front as early as possible to be in a good position because we felt it was the right thing to do. But yeah, it was a kind of day, honestly, where we didn't analyze everything yet, so I didn't have a clear answer. But yeah, it was a bit of a tough race. Yeah.
Does that mean we can see a clear change in strategy tomorrow for the race?
Well, honestly, I don't know yet. As I say, I have to analyze first what we could have done better. But yeah, for now, honestly, I don't know. Like we have to rethink of the qualifying first of all because we go again tomorrow with a different number of laps. Target will be also different, so I think it will be also more important to start at the front. But yeah, so far we need to understand first what happened during the race.
Absolutely. And do you think going into tomorrow's race, the weather or even the track's unpredictability is going to be a major factor in who ends up on top of the podium?
Well, yeah, for sure. If the weather change, we get some rain, it's going to be a pretty open qualifying or even a race if we have some storm. But yeah, for now, honestly, I'm not even thinking of the race of tomorrow. For now, as I say, there's FP3 quali again, which will be important to start in a good position, and from there, yeah, we have to do a better race than what we did today. There's a few things we didn't do well, but it's not the main explanation. We struggle with the pace in general, in race. So it was a bit of a surprise because normally we are pretty strong in race. So yeah, we just need to analyze.
And just to kind of round out the weekend, this is Andretti's home race. It is a big race for the team. You've been doing lots of PR. Are you going to be able to get any downtime tonight in between the race and fully prepare for tomorrow, or are you going to be doing other media obligations throughout the night?
Well, we did the media already on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So double header is In terms of energy, it's pretty demanding. So we've got some work to do better job tomorrow, and the best we can do is to try to do at least a podium. So to do that, we need to work tonight. So that's the plan.
Wonderful. Best of luck tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Lucas, welcome back to Portland again. Racing has evolved a lot from last year, and you've been here since race 1. Overall, as the racing keeps progressing and evolving, what are your thoughts on how the series has progressed and evolved with the racing too?
Well, I think Formula E has progressed a lot, and the cars are faster, technology are better, the teams are more professional, so the championship is getting stronger and stronger, and that's a very good thing for Formula E.
Now, of course, next year you're all going to be in Miami. Most likely Portland will not be on the calendar, but how will you remember Portland, especially with all the various races you run globally?
I wish we had a race here. I see no reason why not having a race in Portland and Miami. So hopefully in the future we come back, because I like this track. I like Portland. Hopefully we come back.
And we'd love to see you on the grid next year. When it comes to this season, I know it hasn't exactly been that great. Is this something where you just feel like, okay, let's just start putting pieces together for next year? Or is it just go aggressive, try to get as many points and sneak a podium, especially if trouble occurs in the front?
100%. We're going to push it to the very end. But this season has been my worst season ever. From problems to being unlucky to performances actually has been not so bad in the last few races. We've always been there on the top 10. But we just struggle to convert that into points. Always there is something, always there is a problem, always there is a battery heating or something breaking or some contact in the wrong time of the race. So I can't wait for the season to finish and we start a new one next season.
Looking forward to seeing you next season. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Nicole, so we're all going to be here tomorrow. You're going to have to practice again. You're going to have to qualify again, then the race again. Press conference, they were talking about now another lap shorter. Do you anticipate we're going to see more aggression out there on the track?
I don't know if more aggression is the way I would put it. I think we're definitely going to see a very different change in strategy. I think a lot of teams and drivers are going to be worried about their energy consumption and how they manage that, as well as their attack mode, given that the race is 1 lap shorter. I think tomorrow's definitely going to be a big challenge for a lot of them, and I think most teams tonight are definitely going to be at the drawing board, analyzing all of their data, trying to figure out how they're going to kind of adapt their team and their cars and their drivers for tomorrow's race.
And of course, tomorrow we'll be on the air right here on the Grid Network. To subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our programs all week long, because we're going to have a busy Sunday with all the action here. Grid Live Wrap-Up, Grid Encore on Monday, followed by Grid Tonight, the Women in Motorsports, and we do it all over again next weekend. So hit the bell icon, subscribe. For Nicole, I'm Joe. Thank you for watching, and enjoy all the races.